Okay, good afternoon, guys. We're at January 21, Friday, 2022. We're looking at gold. So, 1831.65. If we look at this weekly candle right here, we look at the high, 1831.65. So that's a pretty dominant line here. We've got a lot of weekly closes in and around this line. So where are we at right now? 1831.37. I think we weekly close above that point. I think we are set for some further upward action. If we look back into the daily, as you can see, just like we said earlier, we're going to come up, back test on this downward channel. We came in and tested around that 1830 range, and we're kind of holding around right there. So, you know, like I said, as long as we can close out where we're at or just a little bit higher, we should be in pretty good shape. If we start breaking down below, closing any sort of, half hour, hourly candles below this point, that would be concerning. So a lot of people, they don't want to buy anything, hold stuff through the weekend, but this is a decent place to probably be an entry point here, back testing on this point, and you know when to sell is basically if we start closing out daily anything below this line. So I like that. I like that risk reward. You lose small and you lose quickly, and you don't have to guess where your stops are. So this is a really good point. Let's go look just on the seasonality chart we had here. Gold, historically we've been kind of trending up through January, February on average, 5 and 10 year average. I did kind of try to back test that theory a little bit and looked at gold long term. February 14th actually is almost the day to sell. If you were to do this into a long, here we'll go into actually monthly. So 2021, we were February, well, if we hung into February in 2021, I guess it didn't go so well for us. But, 2020 actually did well going into February. 2019, we probably peaked here in mid-February. 2018, we got February, yeah, not bad. 2017, same thing. So you get my point. Historically, we've got a decent time to run here. So all things are really looking positive for gold. If we look over at oil, see what oil's doing. Kind of the same thing, if we were to draw a line in the sand here, this line is it, the top of this big candle. I think we want to see a weekly close above right there, 84.32, and we should be in good shape to keep moving higher. At least, we got a decent chance, say a 60-40, 75-25, but the odds are if we could stay up above the top of this candle and we don't break down and close off down into here, we should either hang out here for a bit or continue to move up. We've got on the weekly, the MACD, we're crossing over here again. Typically when we start going positive, we've got a little bit of momentum behind us for a few more weeks. So not always, but just even looking at the macro environment for oil, considering all things I think oil companies are holding back on their exploration expenses and building new refineries and stuff like that. So oil might become a little more scarce than we were hoping for. We can't quite get into energy independence off of oil quite as quick as I think some people are hoping. So yeah, I think we got a strong case here, and I think, you know, looking at stocks, one in particular, you know, Vermilion, this came up quite nicely, broke out, hit the 200 up here. Granted, you know, there's a little bit of that gas play going on in Europe that's driving Vermilion a little higher. ARC Energy is one I like to look at. ARC Resources, I should say. It's probably hitting near the high end of the channel. I'm not so inclined to sell oil at this point. I think the story on it, the backstory, is still really good. So if you have a favorite oil company, or you just like to play oil in its own, I think you can be pretty safe to keep your money in there. Bitcoin. Okay, well, look, we talked about this line all week, and we are breaking down quite severely. So yeah, there's this diagonal support line maybe, but I mean, this is a falling knife. I just don't see a lot of support here. I mean, yeah, light. I mean, look, we got one touch on this line here. I mean, this is not a time to be buying. You know, and just to go over, if we were to look at our Solana, you know, that fell in under our 200 moving average. Maybe might hold this range. You could step in here. I would step in lightly, and again, you know, having your stops on a falling trend line is not great. You know, you'd like your trend line to be going up if you're going to set that as your stop line, because at least as the time goes by, you're not going to be dropping out on losing money. Cardano, again, yeah, we're in right at the bottom of the range here as well. Let's go to the dollar. We never did look at that today here. Still hovering under this channel line here. Yeah, nothing, you know, ultimately this kind of 95 range was a point here where I think, you know, if you drew a horizontal line across in here, we would see that we're bear with me here. I mean, that's probably about where it's going to be. So, you know, dollar's got some work to do here. I think it's got to get up higher, or I think we're going to resume our downward trend on the dollar. If we were to compare that again with the euro, a little bit of strength coming off the bottom of this channel. You know, we are crossing over on the momentum here. We'll see. TLT, big recovery on the TLT, so everyone's stepping in to buy bonds. That would have brought our yields down. Typically, when we are buying bonds, people are buying gold. I think, you know, you got this or the dollar. If the dollar is not really being loved at the moment and the chart's not looking so good, you know, your alternative is this or gold. And, you know, long term to buy bonds, we're talking about the quantitative easing program ending, the government's going to slow up on buying bonds. So it's not always your most favorite loved in this time. One other thing, just to compare with gold, if we go and look at our interest rates, so this is kind of the Fed rates. We'll set this on a large monthly. We can see here when our interest rate hikes were and when we started cutting interest rates. So, you know, coming in just before a rate hike, gold maybe started to flatten out last time. And then for the first hike, we actually got quite a good kick on gold. And that might, you know, I'm just going to say that might run us into February. We were looking at February 14th, but, you know, I don't know if we'll actually start raising rates here till March. So maybe we might see something in the March time frame as we're raising rates. Back here in 03, we were raising rates. I mean, gold actually did quite well the whole time. And, you know, if we add one more comparison here and we actually bring in the US dollar, yeah, you know, we had that long-term line of, I think we're this guy here. We draw in this line. This one isn't on the log scale, so it's going to be, I think even this goes up higher somewhere in there. It doesn't want to bring us on the history back that far. So when the dollar was up against this top of this channel, which as we kind of are now, and we start bringing in on interest rates, as we did here, we started raising interest rates here, maybe not so much, probably over here where the dollar had more room to fall, weakness in the dollar, start rising interest rates, and gold did well. You know, back here we had the dollar going up and gold going up and interest rates going up. I guess, you know, the dollar actually seems to fall a little more when interest rates went up. This time they were maybe flat. Yeah, not always the best correlation, but, you know, I still, this US dollar hitting this channel line here, I think to me is still the most important. I think the dollar's just, it really, it's going to have a tough time getting past that. I mean, something really significant is going to have to happen. And I'm still very bullish gold. So like we said, you know, hang tight, look for that next buying opportunity, which we should be in the coming weeks. You know, or if you do feel like you want to buy into something in gold now and start buying into things, just watch this channel, watch that 1830. If we start closing daily under 1830 again, then I would not hang in there for too long. But that's all I got for now. And hopefully you guys have a good weekend, and please hit that like and subscribe. I need your help with that one. I'm trying to get everything I can to find you guys, to get you some pointers here to help you out. So just need a little bit of that help back. All right, thanks guys.